Hello and welcome to Creative Sparkle. My name's Holly and today we're doing an art journal prompt list. So grab your art supplies and let's get crafting. Hello, thank you for joining me today. So I'm working on a normal art journal today. The first prompt that we're going to do is to prime the page if it's needed. Now I am going to be using transparent gesso for the first time and just got this, so I'm just going to try that out and not forgetting to put my masking tape down the middle again, just to hold the pages together. So once we've primed the page, if you need to prime the page, obviously you don't necessarily need to in a book like this, but I just wanted to give it a go. So for the second prompt, we're going to be putting string, twine, etc. down and applying modelling paste over the top of it and then slowly removing the string. So I'm using modelling paste that I have in my stash and I'm just using some thread that I have, random thread. It can be any size that you want. It doesn't necessarily need to be this size, this small. You can use a thicker thread if you want thicker patterns. So once we've put the string down, we'll put the modelling paste over the top, and I'm just going to use a palette knife to do that. And once we've got it over the top, we'll pull the string out and then we'll see the designs coming through. So as you can see, once you pull the string out, you've got those lines coming through. If you wanted to place them in a certain way, then that's fine. You can do whatever you like. I just tried to dump it down so that it was covering some kind of space and then put it over the top and just pull it out. And there's no particular pattern to what I'm doing, but I think the result's quite good once it's finished. So the next prompt is, once the modelling paste is dry, we'll drip or spray or add ink to the areas with the modelling paste. So I'm going to use these 4 colours. So I've got crushed olive, peacock feathers, picked raspberry and picket fence from Distress Ink. And I started off with just the water spray in. I sprayed a little bit of water and then I sprayed the colours on randomly over the page with some white picket fence over the top. But you can drip the ink if you prefer. So prompt number 4 is to find something winding and add it to the page. So again, I've chosen some strings, a different colour, but it's just the white string that I wanted. And I actually wanted it to come out white, but I wound it around my fingers to have it winding, and then just placed it on the page in the circle shape you can see. I was really hoping they were going to stay white, but unfortunately that wasn't the case because Distress Ink isn't a permanent ink. So I put these down with some Mod Podge I just used to stick them down onto the page, and then you'll see once they dry, unfortunately the colour will absorb into the glue and the string as well. So whatever you find that's winding, it doesn't have to be string, you can find something else like springs or anything that you have available to you. So once those are dry, we'll move on to the next prompt, which is to add some interest to your page using a medium of your choice. So I've chosen to use some pearl drops in the enamel colours in white, because again I wanted the white on my page. So I'm just going to go around the circles just to bring them out a bit more and hopefully keep the white in there a bit better. So I'm going around the inside and the outside of the circles, and then I'm also going to add some smaller circles with the same product. Obviously you don't have to add this, you could do something completely different on the page, add some feathers to the background or whatever colours you've chosen, choose something that goes well with them. You don't have to choose white, you don't have to choose black, you can choose any product that you like to go onto the page. So moving on to the next prompt, which is prompt number 6, add 4 pieces of ephemera to your page. So I've chosen these stickers that I have, I believe they're from some kind of pound shop or just some craft shop. I had them in my stash. I'm sorry, unfortunately I don't know where to get them from, but just pick something that you think goes well with your background. And I chose these because I quite like the colour contrast with the background, it looks quite nice. So once I've stuck those down, I'm going to just add them again with some gel medium just to make sure they've stuck down properly. So once you're happy with your 4 ephemera, we'll move on to prompt number 7, which is to enhance only one piece of ephemera to convert it into your focal image. So I've chosen to use the basque or the corset, whatever you want to call it, to change into my focal image. So I've got this tulle material, which is like tutu material, and I'm going to use the same 4 inks that I used previously on my background, and I'm going to change colours of 3 of them, and using pink raspberry and picket fence here, and then on the next one I will use the peacock feathers and the picket fence together as well, and on the third it'll be the crushed olive with the picket fence, and just mix them all in. And then once they're dry, I'm just going to fold them up and into a shape that I can use, and then I'll just staple the top, as you can see here. And then once I've done that, I'm going to tuck them underneath the corset and make it look as though it's a dress or a tutu coming out of the corset. And then once I'm happy with where they are, I will use gel medium again just to make sure they're stuck down. If you prefer, you could add something completely different to your ephemera to make it into your focal image. You could add some doilies or something completely. It doesn't have to be material, it could be another piece of ephemera that you think goes well with it and makes it into a focal image. So just whatever you think is available and goes with your page well. So I'm just going to use that gel medium to get that stuck down properly, and then once that's dried, we'll move on to prompt number 8, which is to use 2 mediums to add a border to your spread. So first of all, I'm just taking some clear gesso and going across the top and bottom, because that's where I want my border to be, and I don't want the colours to bleed into the border that I've chosen to apply. So I'm using Mod Podge after the gesso to apply this white lace, and I'm going to add that to the top and bottom. And then once I've added that, it will then move on to adding again the pearl drops from enamel in white, and I'm going to go over it, so put a centre in those flowers that you can see, and then do a line across the edge and follow the pattern of the lace. You'll see when I show you in a moment. So as the prompt says to use 2 different mediums to add a border, and obviously not everybody has the same products, you can use whatever you like. You could use paper and then pen or whatever you have available, so don't feel pressure to get these products. So prompt number 9 is to use a 1-word title for your page. So I've chosen a magazine title. It just says introducing. You could create a title yourself if you prefer, or use some stickers to put a title down. I just thought this went quite well. So the 10th and final prompt is to add drips or splashes to finish the page. So I've chosen white acrylic to add them, and I'm going to use my fan brush to add them as well. And I'm just going to mix the white acrylic with water and then spray it onto the page. So that is the end of the page, and I will put pictures at the end along with the full prompt list. If you do decide to take part in the prompt list, please do tag me on Instagram with the hashtag #SparklePrompts. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will see you next time, where we will turn your creative spark into creative sparkle. Thanks. Bye.